Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville was an absolute fail within the Plants vs. Zombies community. And in this video, we're going to talk about why, and I'll share with you guys some of my personal thoughts on the game. In my opinion, Battle for Neighborville's biggest problem was the lack of variety. For example, in the previous PvZ shooter games, there were many different character variants, each supporting their own unique playstyle, which gave the game a lot of diversity and helped the game never get boring. Whereas in Battle for Neighborville, they totally wiped character variants, and you can only play as the base characters. In my opinion, this took away a lot of what made PvZ shooters special, and made the game bland and boring to play after a while. Another big mistake is that they drastically changed the playstyle of many characters that the community had already mastered. For example, they changed how Citron worked, they changed how Rose worked, they changed how Colonel Corn worked, they changed how Imp worked, they changed how Cactus worked, they changed how a bunch of different characters worked, and it made them feel like you were playing a totally different character, and they were super unfamiliar to you, because for most of the people in the Plants vs. Zombies community, Battle for Neighborville was not their first game. They had played the others before. I'm sure there are a few stranglers that Battle for Neighborville was their first PvZ game, but not many. So most people had already, mastered how to play characters like Citron and Cactus and, Imp. But in Battle for Neighborville, they totally revamped a bunch of the characters and made them unfamiliar and totally different. In my opinion, there was no reason for them to change some of the characters that they changed. Battle for Neighborville also took away the fan favorite sticker packs and replaced it with the lame Rewardotron system. I know that upset me personally and a lot of other fans. I came back to Battle for Neighborville so I could make this video, and I went into it thinking I would absolutely despise the game. But to my surprise, I didn't actually hate the game. I still wasn't the biggest fan, but it wasn't unbearable. It's like I played a few games. I didn't hate it with a burning passion like I thought it would. It was actually okay. Still not great, obviously, but it was better than I expected. I have to give them that. So, now that I've stated a lot of the negatives, I have to give the game some positives. For starters, EA, in my opinion, I think EA did an amazing job with the graphics. This one is a pretty controversial one, but I also love the maps and actually enjoyed playing a lot of them. And I think that goes hand in hand with the fact that the graphic makes all the maps Make all the maps look so good. The graphics definitely saved maps in this game. I think if the graphics weren't so good, all the maps would simply just be mediocre. But since the graphics make all the maps look so good, it makes them bright and colorful, I think honestly, the maps in the game were enjoyable. That's controversial. If you don't like the maps, I totally get it. And obviously, feel free to have your own opinions, but yet again, I like the maps. Now, on to the characters. On the plant side, I actually liked Nightcap and found her an absolute blast to play. I just think she was such a unique and different character to play, and I just think she was the only character, or the only new character that is, in Battle for Neighborville that stood out. And I actually really liked Nightcap and found her blast to play. So, props to EA for Nightcap. I think they did great with Nightcap. I don't honestly think I could say the same for Acorn and Oak and Snapdragon. To me, Acorn and Oak, this is very controversial, obviously, like a lot of other topics in this video, but to me, Acorn and Oak honestly weren't that good. Acorn had low health and didn't do much damage, and I found it difficult to get kills with Acorn. In my opinion, even though Oak was designed to be a tank character, I think his primary weapon was garbage, combined with his incredibly large hitbox, and you're dead in a few seconds. I think the Imps of Z-Mech outperforms Oak as a tank class. I mean, okay, honestly, do I have to say much about the Snapdragon? Just an absolutely garbage character, in my opinion. Feel free, think what you think about Snapdragon, but I think he is garbage. I hate both his short and long range attacks, and I struggle to have good games with him. I think they could have done better with the new plans, besides Nightcap. I liked her. Now, let's go talk about the new zombie characters. I haven't played much of the new Zombies characters, so this will definitely be controversial, but I don't like any of the new Zombies. All of them were simply forgettable, and none of their abilities stand out. But yet again, I haven't played them enough to have a strong opinion. So obviously feel free to have your own thoughts about the new Zombies and Battle for Neighborville, but I did not like them. I just think they were forgettable, and none of their abilities really stood out. But again, I'm going to say this over and over again, I haven't played the new Zombies enough to have a strong opinion about them. So there is that. So overall, I don't think the new characters stand out like they did in Garden Warfare 2. I think that in Garden Warfare 2, the characters were different. The new characters, that is. The characters were different, unique, and overall, the new characters made Garden Warfare 2 a lot different from Garden Warfare 1. But in Battle for Neighborville, the new characters just felt too similar to other characters in the game, and I don't think that many of the new characters in Battle for Neighborville really, stood out, and I don't think they were as unique and different as the new Plants and Zombies in Garden Warfare 2. And the final big reason that the game failed so hardly was poor advertising. They did not give the game enough time to build up, and they didn't give the community enough time to build anticipation and hype for the game. They released the trailer, then they released the game. They had keeping people waiting and keeping people on the edge of their seats. They just bam, trailer release. I didn't even know that the game existed till a few weeks after release, because there wasn't any ads for it on YouTube like a lot of the new games nowadays. There wasn't, huge build-ups on the media, because nobody really knew about it, because EA and PopCap failed to advertise their game, which led to a lot of people not really knowing about the game. And if you don't have a strong player base at release, you're not going to have a strong player base later on. One last final thing is, if you want to play a Plants vs. Zombies game, just play Garden Warfare 2. Trust me, it's better. And it's just the fact that the servers are dead, and there's tons of bots in Battle for Neighborville. You'll find maybe 5 real players, and the rest are just bots. So if you want to play a PvZ game, stick with Garden Warfare 2. That concludes the video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you are interested in this kind of content, please subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.